What's good? We back. It's the Boxing Clinic and more. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. Gonna cut right to the chase. Shout out to the LDVC. It's clear that Eddie Hearn wants to be Al Haymon. It's clear that Bob Arum hates Al Haymon. It's clear that Oscar De La Hoya hates Al Haymon. If you hear that in the background, the dog is just eating a turkey bone. Shout out to the turkey legs at Crab House in Detroit. Crab House in Detroit, one of the best restaurants in Metro Detroit area, all right? Shout out to them. He's definitely enjoying a turkey leg, all right? But, like I said, man, he tried to come in and kick the door in. He tried to strip one of Al Haymon's stars, Deontay Wilder, his dignity. And in the process of doing all that, he tried to steal away all of Al Haymon's stars away from PBC, which is dishing out all the money to fund PBC. He tried to steal them from PBC and Showtime, which Showtime is funding out most of the money for PBC. If you didn't hear my other videos, Fox is trying to get the exclusive rights to PBC, but their pockets is not as deep as CBS/Showtime. But Eddie Hearn wants to be Al Haymon. Eddie Hearn wants to run the show. Eddie Hearn wants to have the fighters that Al Haymon wants to have. He wants to do what his daddy Barry Hearn couldn't do, and that's conquer America and be the first Brit to dominate the American market and be part of the movers and the shakers over here. It wasn't good enough for him to come over here and work with Al and had the zone as an outlet for PBC for the overflow of fights they got. You know, they have to stack these undercards so super that to keep their fighters active. Where Eddie Hearn could have came in, you know, be like, I got the zone, Al, you know, and I want, you know, some of the fights you can't fit on. Just give me a few good fights a year. We can put on the zone. It's $9.99 a year. We can work together. He didn't want to work with Al Haymon because A, he wanted to be Al Haymon. B, he didn't want Al Haymon stealing his venture and them working with Al Haymon and cutting the middleman out in Eddie Hearn. So he wanted to be that guy. He wanted to be the A+. He wanted to be the ace in boxing, but it doesn't work that way. Plenty of guys have came over and tried to muscle their way in boxing, and they got bounced the hell right up out of American boxing. May it be Rock Nation, who has zero success, who has to work with the zone with Maurice Hooker just to keep him active and get fights, and they couldn't keep Ricky Diao or whatever it may be. May it have been Zuffa Boxing with Dana White. He didn't do too good. And now Golden Boy Promotions main events is getting squeezed about the boxing game as well. It's only for the big boys, man. You know, it's only for the big boys. You work with PBC, you work with Top Rank. There's really no in between. And if you better work with Golden Boy just to save them from drowning. But many guys have tried to sue Al Haymon, and many guys, you know, have tried to be and knock him off of his pivot. But he's a guy that don't indict himself. He's a guy that don't do interviews. No matter how much you beg or ask, he's a man of silence. He's a man of much respect. And the bond and loyalty that he got with his fighters is something that Eddie Hearn would never understand, was something that Bob Arum would never understand. Bob Arum robs his fighters, charges them for advances, stupid interest rates, you know. So Eddie came over, he tried to dominate Al Haymon. He tried to play chess, thinking Al Haymon was playing checkers, but Al Haymon was on another level. He didn't didn't want to make Wilder Joshua. Al Haymon made Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. He wanted to get Adrian Broner, Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence, Jerry Hurd, Keith Thurman, whoever he tried to get, he couldn't get him. He couldn't get one to budge. He ended up with Jesse Vargas, who was still advised by Al Haymon. That's it. He got Danny Jacobs, but Danny Jacobs is still advised by Al Haymon. And Danny Jacobs' notoriety hasn't risen one bit with Eddie Hearn. He had a better profile with PBC after knocking out Peter Quillen, was at the height of his career, and PBC Al Haymon gave him the fight with Gennady Golovkin and probably still got one of his highest paydays today from Al Haymon. So, at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn is going to fail miserably. He's going to go with his tail between his legs back to the UK, and that's the way it is. Instead of coming in and trying to work with Al Haymon and doing his thing and being one of the best or one of the most notarized or one of the best known promoters out there and align himself with PBC like Richard Schaefer is doing, like Samson, the dude from Samson Boxing is doing, like TGB Promotions is doing. You know, instead of aligning yourself with Al Haymon and working with him and being one of the guys, but having the difference is instead of being one of the promoters that would have made Eddie Hearn rise above those guys, was that he had a network, he had an outlet for fighters to come and fight. So not only was he be promoting some of the PBC fighters, he would have had the network and platform for some of them guys to fight on. He could have been the outlet, but instead he tried to kick over the buildings and ruffle some feathers and try to come in here and be Billy Badass. And the zone is not going to work. He don't have a roster for it to work. He don't have a partnership with Main Events. He don't have a partnership with Golden Boy. He don't try to do a partnership with PBC. He didn't try to do a partnership with Top Rank or nothing. He burned all his bridges, and he got some recycled fighters that nobody want to care about. And he got his ace fighter, Anthony Joshua, is a non-factor in America. When he could have became a factor, fought Deontay Wilder and got some juice for the zone, he would have became a star over here, but he didn't do that. Now Tyson Fury is stepping in place and trying to do that, and he's going to help Deontay Wilder get to another stratosphere if Wilder can beat Fury, which is not a God-given 100%. So, it's funny how things work. Instead of, working with Al, or eventually work with Al and turning on Al and just using Al as a stepping stone, Eddie Hearn didn't try to sneak through the back door and be indirect. He tried to be direct, tell Al Haymon, pointed at him, say, I'm about to run you over and score this touchdown, instead of, using his brain and then kind of slipping through the back door. Even Al Haymon would have sensed it regardless. So, it is what it is, man. But that's what he tried to do. Eddie ain't too smart. It's the reason why your daddy didn't succeed over here, boy. You ain't going to succeed neither, man. This is Rock Nation getting bounced out of here. Golden Boy getting ready to get bounced up out of here. Main Events getting bounced up out of here. And Al Haymon is about to bounce HBO up out of boxing as well, too. Eddie Hearn will get bounced back to the UK, back to 20-pound pay-per-views over there in the UK. But y'all know what the business is. The Boxing Clinic and more. Don't forget the links, the social media links, the podcast link, the new college sports page link. All that's in the description. Always the links in the description let you know the sources for the story of what we got going on. Continue to share the videos. You can screen record them and put them on social media. I appreciate it. Just source where you got the credit from. I definitely appreciate all the brothers out there that supporting us, TBC and more. We on the move, expanding the content. Very, very great, good news coming. And as football season coming and NBA start back up, we're going to expand the content as well some more. Be more than a boxing channel. It's the Boxing Clinic and more, though. Your boy CJ Goodfellow. We out.